Right Honorable Speaker, following a question by Honorable Ibrahim Semujunganda on the floor of this Parliament on a matter relating to a person that he claimed was missing, you directed that I make a statement in response to that inquiry. So on 4th of February 2021, I made a statement presenting a list of 44 names of persons that originally had been claimed to be missing. Now, on the 4th of March, following what I had earlier said, and following your directive to give a more comprehensive list of missing persons, I again made a statement in which I presented a list of 177 names, which list indicated where the person was arrested from, where the person, when the person was arrested, why the person was arrested, and showing at the time of reporting what had happened to that person. In the debate following my presentation, Honorable Matthias Mpuga presented a list of 423 names of missing persons on behalf of the National Unity Platform. I promised I would look into that list. Indeed, in the course of that debate, honorable colleagues also sent me sheets bearing names of persons they claimed were missing persons. So today, I am once again presenting to you, in fulfillment of what I had promised, a list of individuals that have been arrested since the 18th of November 2020 to date. The list I am presenting clearly indicates that 1. From 18th to 19th November 2020, 269 cases involving riotous situation in the country were registered. 269 cases, not persons. Of these, 175 persons were taken to court, 4 of whom the Attorney General was able to conclude and resolve. 90 of those 269 cases are still under inquiry. 1,035 suspects were arrested. 901 have been charged in court. Among these 901 was Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. 734 were remanded after being presented to court. 167 were released on court bail. 113 were released on police bond, and 113 included Honorable Patrick Aboy Omriat, and 21 were cleared by police and released. 51 convicted individuals were sentenced as follows. 28 were sentenced for community service, 20 were cautioned, 3 were imprisoned for 6 months. Regrettably, 54 persons of the 1,100 we are talking about were killed during that period of the riots of the 18th to 19th. 45 of these were male, 6 of these were female, and 3 were male juveniles. Of the 45 males who were killed, 1 died out of a car accident involving vehicle number UAW 827N. Towards the election day and after elections, more people were arrested for election-related offenses. These have either been charged in court or remanded or are still held by security agencies to assist in investigations. The list of these I have attached as Annex A to this report. Of the 423 persons that Honorable Matthias Mpuga presented, 58 have been released or are on remand. 365 we have not been able to verify their whereabouts because the list was blank. It did not indicate the time when they were arrested or the location from where they were arrested to enable us follow up with this matter. However, intelligence reports so far seem to indicate that some of these individuals could actually be hiding in villages and other places for fear of being arrested for various offenses committed. The list of the 423 individuals I have now summarized in Annex B attached to this statement. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, this statement which I am making today, we should remember, is a continuation of our conversation as Parliament on the matter of missing persons. Secondly, it's a fulfillment of my promise, which I made on the 4th of March, that I would continue to brief this august House as long as I continue to get new developments and new information on this matter. And finally, this statement is to clearly show that the persons are not missing, but they were actually arrested and have been processed as I have indicated in the statement earlier on. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I beg to report.
Thank you, Minister. I'm trying to date of arrival, 8th of January. On remand, there's a long list there. I also see people taken court-martial, 11th of December. Long list, 14th December, 25th of February. The dates are really, Okay, honorable members.
And besides, when you arrest people, why don't we subject people under the laws of Uganda? When people are kept either in police custody or in military detention, completely in disregard of the 48 hours. To date, you have also accepted that there are still, 90 under inquiry without being taken to courts of law. Honorable Minister, why don't you help our people better? When we say we are under a dictatorial regime, are we wrong? That you cannot subject people who are arrested to the laws of Uganda. I know I personally stood for Honorable Patrick Amoria Toboy in Gulu, and he was arrested for nothing. He was not allowed to hold rally. Honorable Minister, we are so sad that even then when we debate in Parliament here, we are taken not to be effective because we have missing people and we continue to do business as usual, and it is the guns which arrive on us if we have to decide to go for demonstration. I ask some of these people who support us, how do you support Uganda and allow this support to keep abusing the rights of people? Because when you get equipment from friends, from our development partners, from other countries, for police to operate with, there should be some conditions not to allow human rights abuse completely, just outright, without even hiding it. At least sometimes some curtains should be put in order to say, no, we have not done this. But this is outright. And our partners continue to support. Why do we then send vehicles, tear gas, all this to abuse the rights of Ugandans? Ugandans deserve better. If we all follow laws, if we all follow what is in the Constitution, if we all follow our laws which we make here, I don't think so.
Yes, and yet Right Honourable Speaker, these issues that touch on matters of human rights are the ones that distinguish the difference between governments before and governments now. If one of you took time to read the book by Professor G.W. Kanyehamba, the one which was recently launched by Professor Pierre Lumumba, read about the history of Uganda between 1963 and 1980. You will see our past, and you decide that we must be settled and clear-headed so that we know where we are going. Right Honourable Speaker, there are people who have been said to be on remand. For me, I do not want to doubt the capacity, the capability, the energy, the effort, the commitment of the Honourable Minister for Internal Affairs. General Jeje Odongo is formidable. Nobody should doubt him. Maybe the problem is orders from above. Yes, but I know him, yes, because even when you talk about to target, we have that information because I'm an intercessor like him. If you want to know that he's a true soldier, you just light your cigarette, put it there, and ask him to point at it. He will get it. Shoot the cigarette at the light, the lighting point. That is him. So, General, with all that capacity, don't you think you are in a position to properly advise government to now release everybody? Because, Honourable Speaker, he has the capacity. Madam Speaker, the people who lost life, over 54 or so, are we going to compensate the lives? What are we doing about those families? So I think we should be searching for a solution now, a way forward, but not to deepen the problem. So, Honourable Minister, I don't know what you are thinking about this. You have to say something about this. Is government going to compensate for the lives lost, the 54 people? I think that's very important. There is another issue. There are those whom you reported to be either released or still on remand. Why are we doubting? We are not sure whether they are on remand. We are also not sure whether they have been released. So which one is the answer? Because now there is an enormous zone in between. So which one is which? Then there is another issue. Madam Speaker, just to conclude, it seems like there are people yet to be arrested. Is that list ready? Yes, because somewhere in your statement, you say some people seem to be hiding in villages in fear of arrest. Who are the people to be arrested yet so that they know and they prepare for court? I think that's very, very important. And those who are on remand, in which prisons? Those who have not been brought to courts of law, where are they? I think that is what distinguishes between a good government and a government which is not yet ready. But I don't doubt the general there is a true general. Please do what generals do. I beg to submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.
Right Honorable Speaker, the minister has presented a very comprehensive list, for which I'm a shadow minister, for which part of the list is part of what we presented as the National Unity Platform. We would have loved to give us an opportunity to study his response, to study the list he has presented, and come back to this Parliament with a comprehensive response to that statement. Because we want to put name to a particular location and be clear to detail. Right now, we may not be able to respond adequately to that list, and would beg you that we stay the debate and give us an opportunity, because the matter of disappearance of our people is continuing, and for us to make a quick spot-on response may not be in the best interest of the country. We beg for your indulgence.
But I think that the other members who are not of your party who want to say a few things, let us listen to a few other members, then we shall take a decision. But of course, you are entitled to get the information so that you can either confirm or advise on what is happening. We shall come back to you, don't worry.
Honorable Minister, I would like you to refer to your contradictory statement of saying there are no missing persons. And when you are referring also to the list provided by Honorable Mpuga, you provided a list of missing persons derived from that list that you are not able to establish where they are, by the virtue of the fact that the information provided to you did not indicate clearly where they were arrested from. So, my main point here is, can you admit first that there are missing persons? Because the record must be set right. Right, Honorable Speaker, if you follow the statement of the government of Uganda within and outside, particularly the one of outside I'm referring to, was from the UN, where Uganda's representative to the UN was quoted as saying there were no people who were kidnapped, therefore going to the same issue that there are no missing persons. Let's set the record right, Honorable Minister. This is not an issue to criminalize you. By the mere fact that this issue is brought to you means that people are still respecting you as a responsible person. What are you going to say? The day Ugandans will refuse to be arrested. What are you going to say? The day Ugandans will refuse to seek for explanation from you about their missing people. Uganda has this history. Right, Honorable Speaker, I would like to say this on behalf of the people of Obongi whom I represent here. We went through this kind of pain, but because of our isolation, where you may not see the mass media, the internet was cut off. People were subjected to this, but we still don't get sufficient responses from the government. People are like giving up in all directions. Therefore, I say that Ugandans bear this, and we people from the north should stand up with the people of Buganda. Majority of the people who are missing this time around, if you take, are from Buganda here. In the past, when the kidnaps, when the missing people were from the north, from the east, because of the concentration of the dissent, the epicenter of dissent against this regime being in the north, and in the east, some people thought we were telling lies about the badness of this government. That's why these days, from the north, much as Buganda has done well in our point of view as people from the opposition, because they voted in line with the opposition massively. Many people from the north are saying, when we were crying, you people from Buganda did not support us. Now you test it. But I don't like that position. Mine is bad, good is good. Join us, those of you who are in pain.
Member, you know you're in a microphone. You don't have to shout.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
I pray that stand up together we should actually congratulate the people of Uganda for joining us who are crying first. And we should now cry together with them. We should not say they should be left alone. Uganda, I stand with you.
People who were charged for, who were arrested on electoral offenses. I would like to find out from you, Honorable Minister, are the elections still ongoing, to the effect that on your list you still have people who were arrested on electoral offenses? 2, do you ever think that this power you are using and misusing to arrest, kidnap, detain people arbitrarily will one day shift to another force, and that this very power can be used against you? Don't you think these people you are detaining have families that are suffering? They have children, they have their wives, they have their parents, and they are traumatized. They are looking forward towards looking at their people, at least dead or alive. Why don't you have pity for these people, Honorable Minister? We have the courts of laws well facilitated. Why don't you arraign them before the courts of laws? My other disappointment is actually even taking civilians to the court-martial, the military courts. Why do you apply double standards? Uganda is supposed to be a democratic country. The court-martials were created for soldiers, UPDF, actually specifically UPDF, it is under the UPDF Act. Why do you subject civilians to a military court, yet they have never even been part of the military? These people you're detaining here in the various prisons that you have talked about, which are not even, the list is not even clear. They have a right, a non-derogable right. First of all, they have a right to bail, they have a right to bond. I don't know how much it takes you to inquire and investigate into the criminalities that were caused by those people. Yet, you had reasons why you detained them. I'm about to think that you are incompetent. Because if you cannot inquire and investigate small offenses, then we don't even need to have you really in these offices. You should resign and allow more competent people to come and carry out these investigations in a very swift and timely manner. The extrajudicial arbitrary arrests are making Ugandans feel as though they are not part of this country. The drones, when I was growing up, Pandagari. My father was a soldier, and in the UNLA. And people used to think that UNLA was a bad force. But I'm telling you, history will judge you right. And people...
The issue of missing persons across the country is of great concern to this House and also to all Ugandans. Madam Speaker, I have listened attentively to the Minister's response in as far as Honorable Mathias Mpuga's list is concerned. And out of the 400 people Honorable Mpuga brought out, the Minister has come out to acknowledge 56 out of the 400. That out of the 400, yes, we can say we have the 56 whom we verified that we are with us. Madam Speaker, I believe when we talk about the feelings of many Ugandans outside there who have not been seeing their relatives for a while, it pains, Madam Speaker, because we would rather someone would believe that, yes, I have my relative in prison and is facing such and such a case, charges, and is being brought to court, and then you are comfortable. But Madam Speaker,
they are likes of Mr. Kibalama John Bosco, who went missing on 3rd June. Honorable Minister taking interest. On 3rd June 2019, up to now, he has never been seen anywhere. Madam Speaker, I believe that as on humanitarian grounds, we need to come to the rescue of many Ugandans who are crying because of their missing relatives. And I believe that there is no harm for the government to come out to say, yes, we have been having these people unconstitutionally, and indeed they have been released. So if we are to honor what the late Archbishop was yearning for, was fighting for human rights, let us do this as a way of recognizing what the Archbishop has been fighting for. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, we have so many through pain at different levels, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. These boys were arrested in Busia. One was a candidate aspiring for the mayorship, and that boy is called Yokana Were Musa. He was dealing with produce. Another one is Elias Kwamusi, who was aspiring, was a parliamentary candidate. Then we have Wabwire Stephen, and then we have Edirisa Wafula. Edirisa Wafula is a primary teacher at Madivira Primary School. Madam Speaker, schools have started. P5 class has no teacher. Because Edirisa, we don't know his whereabouts. These people have families. Parents are crying. They are calling us to assist. We cannot feed them. For us, we deal on cross borders, you know. The maize no longer cross, and that's what we do, maybe deal on to support their families. So, Honorable Minister, just sympathize with the people of Busia, people of Uganda, and free these people who are arrested.
Honorable Speaker, I think it is abundantly clear that national dialogue is long overdue. Elections polarize the population. And there is no way we can develop as a country if we continue to be polarized. I was humbled this morning when I saw the President of the US, Biden, kneeling down after a government paying $27 million for the orphan of the late black Floyd who was killed by the police, George Floyd. But still, after government, they know it's an individual officer who made a mistake. The government has paid $27 million, but the president takes, kneels down. The president kneels down to apologize before a young boy. Do we learn something from that? I know what I expected from the minister, first of all, is at this point in time, can we hold the individual indisciplined military officers personally liable? Personally liable, as government has said, it was not a government policy, it was an excess of individuals. At one time, even the CDF was had humility to apologize. But I think the cheapest option, Madam Speaker, is that this country can take courage. NRM, we are a government which has come from fighting forces. We have people in the cabinet who are shooting at NRA. Why can't we forgive these people and the country moves on? We are overstretching courts. I don't think there is social distance anymore there. You know, the problems are manufactured by politicians. We are overstretching our security forces to almost becoming partisan. We don't want to lose our police, our army, the way we lost UNLA, the way we lost Uganda army because of politics. Let us do everything to have a national dialogue, even if we have had amnesty. Those who fought and killed the people, you have had amnesty. General Jeje, you know that. You are a man of all seasons. Kindly, I want to pray the president, before swearing in, should move that magnanimity as a head of state and announce all children of this country to be released And whatever it takes, I know there's some details of an amnesty, the way it's handled, but it sounds ugly. You can't convince investors that Uganda is an investment destination. Nature has promoted us as a good tourist. As Madam Speaker, as I conclude, does not market Uganda. Even our Ugandan diaspora want to come back. They think Uganda has gone back to the dogs. So I pray we have a national dialogue as a matter of emergency so that this country can have a new solution for the generations to come.
There are many people who have disappeared in this country. And there are many who are still disappearing up to now in this country, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable Minister, I would like to start from your concluding remark, whereby you said intelligence report indicates that some of these people, out of 365 people, some of them could be hiding in the villages. Honourable Minister, you have all intelligence apparatus. We have GISUs, we have PISUs, we have officers of the RDCs. All those intelligence are there in the villages. Why not to ask them to smoke out where those people are hiding? Because it's quite risky to come on the floor of Parliament and to say they could be hiding somewhere. We have all the intelligence reports. You remember, I borrowed from His Excellency the President. He made a statement some time back that he will not be presiding over the country where people disappear and no one knows where those people are. And right now, people are disappearing. People are disappearing day and night. His Excellency is still presiding over this government whereby people are disappearing day and night. Right, Honourable Speaker, I think this is the high time the President should reflect on his words. Citizens of this country are disappearing, and you cannot account where those people are. Secondly, Honourable Minister, many people who are being arrested, others are arrested on land issues. Right now, they are being charged in court-martial. Right, Honourable Speaker, I have a very serious case in my constituency, whereby LC1 and its executives, they were arrested right from Amoro, and right now they are in Kigo prison, and they are being tried in court-martials. Someone who has never held guns, he doesn't know how to operate guns, and he has never been a soldier. And right now, they are being tried in court-martial. Right, Honourable Speaker, this government, there are other people who really think that the country is theirs and they can do anything. They can create charges on other individuals. As I wind up, let Honourable Minister, please let us try to be serious. Many Ugandans are missing and parents are crying for their children. There are other people who are missing. They are the breadwinners in their families. Please let us be mindful of the children who are suffering, of the wives who are crying for their husbands. Please produce those people. Let them come back to continue with their activities with their families. I beg to move.
I've not read through your report, but I don't know how you came up to arrive at what you presented before in this Parliament. Because there must have been a very good set parameters based on the list that Honorable Mpuga presented the other time of the 400 missing people. Now you have indicated only 56 can only be identified. How about the rest of the people whose list was actually presented before this Parliament? We were expecting you to come and clarify on each and every member of the list of the missing persons who have been presented here. But just not to come blindly and say, we have 56 now identified, the rest we don't know where they are, whether they have gone somewhere, whether they have, that is not how an institution like a government, a big institution like a government in power works. We would love to hear, Mr. Minister, if the rest are completely eliminated. Be frank and tell us that the other ones, we have decided to do away with them. And we should not keep on ping-ponging on the same thing, crying for you to produce list of people who have now been eliminated. So we beg you that you go and do research, identify the 400 numbers that have been submitted to this parliament, and one by one on a case by case. Say this one here has taken off maybe to Arua or to Kitgum, this one here is in Kalangala, this one here is somewhere, so that we know exactly whether they are still alive or they are dead. This is the clarification I want to seek. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Now, Lucy.
Madam Speaker, the irony with this statement is many of these people are being charged with cases related to breaking the SOP, the COVID-19 SOP guidelines. I am assuming and I know that many of these people have contributed to the congestions in the prisons. I would like the ministers to assure me that you are also not breaking the COVID-19 SOP guidelines, and why you should also not be arrested. Because you are breaking also the same thing that you are, the same case that you are arresting the people is the same case that you also must be arrested. Madam Speaker, for me this is my issue, and really I beg and I implore our government of Uganda, on behalf of the women who are shedding tears day and night, have mercy and feel pity for these women and really release their children. And really, even if these children are dead, just inform them that, you know what, your children are dead, there's nothing you can do. You cry once and for all, you bury your loved one, and you forget about it, instead of doing ping pong here and there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
But, Honourable Minister, for me, I really want to appeal to my government to act with restraint in some of these issues. You know, it's very, very painful when your country is cited in the international bodies as violating human rights. The meetings where I used to go, I was very comfortable when they were mentioning other countries until they started talking about Uganda. So I really want to appeal. Let us act with restraint. Don't know whether the minister has any closing remarks. Do you have any closing remarks?
First and foremost, I would like to point out that the exercise we are involved in, the conversation we are involved in, is an attempt to find a solution to this particular problem. I would like to try to respond and answer your points of inquiry to your satisfaction. So if in a way I have not answered it, I am, as I have pointed out earlier, I am available for you to say, we have this particular issue, and I will investigate it, and I will be able to report back. Indeed, last time when I was here on 4th of March, I did indicate so. Many of you indeed gave me names, and they are included on this list I have today indicated. So what I am attempting to do is to find a solution to this problem. Madam Speaker, I take your guidance and advice on a matter of forming a task force to deal with those individuals who got hurt and do not know where to report. I'll go and look at this matter, and I will be reporting to you on how to proceed on this particular matter. The answer is no. The elections are not going on. What I am reporting here are the people that were arrested, not we are arresting. The second point, specific one I would like to respond to, is why are civilians being tried in military courts? You are aware, honorable colleagues, that our law is clear on the fact that if you involve yourself in activities ordinarily associated with the military, you lend yourself to be tried by the military. If you hold a gun, for example, you are not supposed to be having a gun as a civilian. It's only the military. And therefore, you learn yourself. And that's how a number of these have ended there, because they have acted in a manner lending themselves to military activity. I would like also to say this, that Honorable Fungaro, this is not a laughing matter, if you might. I feel the pain as you have indeed suggested. But it is also my responsibility, however much pain I feel, to ensure that the due processes are concluded. I shouldn't use my emotions and pain and take unilateral actions without allowing the due process to continue. It is true some individual security officers have acted in excess. And I would like to confirm to you that many of these officers who have been identified have been punished accordingly. We do not hide. We take specific action on those officers. Finally, I wanted to respond to my Honorable Akelo Lucy, who said, you are contributing to COVID-19 congestion in prisons. I'd like to tell you that we are very specific in management of prisoners. Any new cases never get mixed with old cases. We sort them out as soon as they arrive, they are tested, and they are kept separate from old cases whom we know are clear from this. So in no way are we contributing to the spread of COVID in the prisons. If you'll recollect, as soon as there was the outbreak, we had a similar outbreak in Moroto prison. We had to separate those who were found positive and taken to Morukatipe prison. So we are very careful about this. We don't mix them. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable colleagues, this is a matter that I do not want us to become emotional about. I want us to deal with it because it's a problem of our country, and together we will find a solution. I will not go anywhere. I will be working with you to find a solution, a final solution to this problem. I thank you.